At the end of last year, Star Citizen finally reached a major milestone with the release of Alpha 4.0 and the long-awaited first iteration of server meshing. But instead of ushering a new era of stability and expanded gameplay, the current state of the game is nothing short of a disaster. Let's not be afraid of words here. Players are, of course, facing severe issues from broken hangars and malfunctioning elevators to mission failures, desynchronization, and crippling latency. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the problems plaguing Star Citizen right now, how server meshing is contributing to the chaos, and what Climate Period Games plans to do to fix the situation. Server meshing, in theory, is supposed to improve Star Citizen scalability by dynamically distributing the game world across multiple servers. Instead of one server handling an entire star system, different servers take control of separate areas, allowing for more players and large-scale interactions. However, in practice, the current implementation is riddled with issues, making the game nearly unplayable. Here's how. First, let's talk about seam transition failures. When players move between server control areas, the transition is not always smooth, unfortunately. Sometimes this leads to desynchronization, a little bit of rubber banding, or sometimes the players are stuck in limbo, unable to interact with the game world. For example, you may not have any interactions with your ship, you may not be able to hail a station's ATC, your missions may not be registered, or your progress may not be registered at all. It's causing quite a lot of issues. Now, of course, Climate Period Games are bringing hotfixes after hotfixes, but it's still going to take a while for them to bring us a decent experience here. We also have entity streaming issues. For example, hangars, elevators, and objects are not always loading correctly. Sometimes it's an entire outpost that's not loading correctly here, and servers seem to be struggling to keep track of what should be where. This results in sometimes ships disappearing, elevators failing to function, or, as I said earlier, entire locations not rendering properly, if not at all. We also have mission breakdowns, right? Since different parts of the game world are now managed by separate servers, mission objectives, enemy AI, and quest triggers sometimes fail to synchronize properly, causing missions to break and not progress as intended. We also have increased latency and desync. Players have been reporting higher ping, slower server responses, and sometimes rubber banding, especially with NPCs or in player versus player interactions due to the added complexity of multiple servers trying to communicate with each other in real time. Server crashes still occasionally happen, although much less than before, resulting in server errors, but sometimes the server error doesn't show and the whole servers are not working, resulting of it being completely uninteractable. So we can go to a station, but nothing will be working there. Same at landing zones, and the whole player base of the server would be completely stuck. So essentially, instead of making the game more seamless and scalable, server meshing in its current form is amplifying Star Citizen's existing problems while introducing entirely new ones. It's clear that while this tech is a necessary step toward the game's future, its early implementation is far from ready for prime time. The biggest issue with server meshing isn't just that it's not working properly, it's that it was delayed for years. Originally promised long ago, its absence forced Climate Period Games to keep adding new features on top of outdated technology that was never designed for the scale of Star Citizen has reached. Now that server meshing is finally here, it's exposing the cracks in those old systems, creating an unstable and chaotic experience for players. Features like persistence, physicalized cargo, and complex missions were all built on old networking tech that was already struggling under the weight of Star Citizen's ambitions. Instead of improving performance, server meshing is clashing with these systems, leading to severe bugs, desynchronization, broken missions, and overall instability. Because of that, Climate Period Games has no choice but to dedicate this entire year to fixing these issues. The dream of large-scale, seamless multiplayer gameplay can't happen until the foundation is stable, and right now, it's anything but that. With all these issues stemming from server meshing and the necessary fixes, this year is therefore going to be a time for stability over expansion. While Clannad Imperium Games initially planned to roll out more new feature and content, it's clear that the focus is shifting to patching up the existing game. Don't expect to see as many new mechanics or additions as originally promised. The anticipated resource management system, which would have introduced gameplay elements like fire hazards or engineering, is almost certainly going to be delayed further. Similarly, evolutions of professions like Bounty Hunting V2 might be pushed back as well. Even Nyx, the next scheduled star system, could see its timeline adjusted so that the developers can focus on stabilizing and optimizing what's already in the game. The one area that we're probably going to see some progress this year is ship releases. Since ships play a major role in Star Citizen's funding model, it's reasonable to expect that new ships will continue to be rolled out regularly. These ships are, of course, essential to the company's need for funding. Clannad Imperium Games will therefore likely prioritize them as they work through the technical challenges of the core systems of the game. To conclude, we could say that right now Star Citizen is in a rough state, to say the least. Server meshing was supposed to be a major breakthrough, the so-called Jesus patch, as the community liked to call it, but instead, unfortunately, it has exposed years of technical debt, forcing Clannad Imperium Games to dedicate 2025 to fixing the game rather than expanding it. While that means fewer new features, it's also a necessary step if Star Citizen ever hopes to achieve its full potential. But what do you think? Are you still hopeful for Star Citizen's future, or do you think that this mess was inevitable? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more in-depth Star Citizen coverage. If you want to support the channel and help me keep making content like this, consider checking out my Patreon. Every bit of support goes a long way, and I truly appreciate it. We also have a giveaway this month. I'm giving away a Misk Fortune, so make sure to subscribe to win one of 10 free entries. Automatic entries are given to YouTube members and Patreon members automatically. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I wouldn't be able to make all that content without my Patreon support, as I said, including Dr. Forbin, Ducky2Ducker, Shadow Rise, and Zero Crusher. I have been Irad. I wish you guys a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Risky and my name was at stake.